Well, good morning, everybody. The time right now is, well, 2 o'clock, a little bit after 2. And we finally do have a little bit of an increase in the thunderstorm activity. And it's kind of like right on schedule here. It's like we thought it would. Nothing is out of the ordinary. So that's good. That's the kind of weather forecast that we like here, is the fact that these storms are behaving the way we thought they would. They've actually been struggling a little bit in terms of fighting up against this cap we have in place here this morning. But they still have some warnings out there, and if we take a look here on radar, you can really see these warnings, and it does look at least like this is called reflectivity, what you're looking at now. And it does appear as though this is getting a little bit better organized. The DBZs, the decibel levels in the storms, are starting to come up some now. So it looks like there may be some hail starting to show up in this arc of storms that's moving almost due east northeast. This is crossing through southern Wilbarger, the northern part of Baylor County. This is over in the southeastern parts of Ford and Knox County, northeastern Knox County there. That's where the warning is impacted. It goes all the way to the Wichita County and Archer County line. This does not include Wichita County at this time, but if these storms can maintain themselves, we could see some warnings come out. Now, this warning is mostly going to be for some wind and maybe a little small hail that's making its way to the east. If you notice all this color you see over here, this is the cap we're talking about. Radar beam is hitting the inversion, and it causes a little bit of a bounce with it, and it shows a bit of a difference in density. So that shows the cap there. So it's one there, but it's not super strong. And if these storms can maintain themselves over into here, there's not as much cap, so they may intensify a bit. We can look at the winds in these storms quickly here, and just looking at them, they don't have a lot of organization to them wind-wise. But there might be some bursts of winds in there somewhere that could still gust up a little bit as they make their way across Wilbarger and the northern part of Baylor County. Overall, these don't look too impressive to me, but a little hail and a little wind certainly is possible. Then you kind of follow, and you can see these lines. This line has really struggled tonight. There's just so much cap in place that they've really struggled. And instead of really a solid line like we thought would form, at least as of right now, it's more of a kind of some storm clusters. But they are increasing some over there into Knox County, and increasing some over there into over there near Guthrie, those areas. And these storms are moving to the east, kind of east northeast, moving at a very fast clip. And with it being 2 o'clock now, an hour from now, I do expect these storms to be kind of over into here, probably somewhere.
You got a boundary right within there.
Yeah. So you've got the probably some. So it looks like between about 3 and 3:30, these storms should be over in the Wichita Falls if they can hold together. They've really struggled though, because there's just so much fighting them. There's so much cap out there, so much convective inhibition, that it's really just kind of keeping them from being able to really ingest a lot of energy. So they're struggling, but they do at least pose a bit of a wind threat. The tornado threat does not look very high at this time at all. So I'm not worried about that at this point in time. Just a little bit more concerned about the downpours, a little small hail, a little wind overall, though it doesn't look too bad, at least as of right now, anyway. A lot of this just looks disorganized. So if you go follow this, you've got the northern arch of the storm is kind of up here near Quanah. There might be some gusty winds in that, but that part of the line isn't particularly intense anyway, but it's moving to the east and to the northeast. We'll move right across the northern parts of Wilbarger County. Some of that's going to impact Vernon, but at least as of this radar analysis, the heaviest parts will probably stay south of Vernon, maybe near Lockett or go south of Lockett. Then you jump up there into the Hardeman County area, and those storms that are near. Oh, thank you there, Jaden. I appreciate it. up there near the Quanah area. Those are going to move east-northeast across the northern parts of Wilbarger County and over into Tillman County, eventually up towards Frederick. Now, those storms are not severe, but they do perhaps maybe contain some gusty winds. But down to the south, is this storm cluster, and there's the latest update, and it does show the cluster continuing to try to line out some, so to speak. Come from about near Vernon all the way down. It's moving really fast now too. This is northwest of Seymour, and there's a lot of other little small cells developing behind it. So we may wind up getting some decent rain, especially where these things are kind of training over each other. I would estimate that if these storms can hold together, about 3:30 into Wichita Falls maybe, which is pretty close to the time frame we thought that it would be in. You know, again, I don't think the tornado threat with these is particularly high at this moment. It looks pretty low. Mostly just kind of a little bit of wind and hail is what we're kind of looking at. And the hail is pretty small, too. I don't see anything major with hail at this point in time. But that warning does not include Vernon, but it does kind of include the southern parts of Wilbarger County. It does include like Grayback area. We can go even further south. This is about to move right over Lake Kent, Maybelle, sorry, and this is also going to pass the worst of it, the heaviest part of it, and we're going to pass north of Seymour. And this is moving to the east, kind of east-northeast. Pretty good clip, moving pretty fast, and as the more it can line out, the quicker it's going to move, and the more it's going to bow out. Let's see if any new radar updates have come out on it, and we can see any better, any different winds. And again, I just don't see anything major wind-wise here. There's actually some decent winds up here in parts of Hardeman County with that storm up there. But down to the south, it's just not super organized. So I don't really see anything that's too ominous at this point in time there in the northern parts of Baylor County. But again, this is going to be headed towards. Eventually headed towards Wichita County if it can hold together. Around 3:30 should be entering Wichita County. So we're looking at Electra, maybe Electra by around 3 o'clock in Electra, KMA and Dundee, those areas, and then closer to 3:30 into Wichita Falls. But again, it's going to have to hold together in order for that to happen, and they have been struggling a bit. You can see them really fighting up against that convective inhibition tonight. Heavy rain, there could be a little small flooding, very, very small flooding with some of these. We go down to the south, this storm near Guthrie moving a pretty good clip due east towards Knox City. There could be some new warnings coming out for Knox County with this storm. These storms over to the west have had a better look to them, presentation on radar anyway, so they may see some stronger winds with some of those. But again, these storms here in Baylor and Wilbarger County really just don't show much in the way of organization at this time, and they don't show much in the way of really strong wind gusts. But we'll keep an eye on it and see how it all behaves and how everything works with it here as these storms make their way off to the east and east-northeast and whatnot here. So I'm going to look here and see if anybody's got any questions real fast before I jump off. Killeen, Texas, you're way down there, nothing headed towards you. We just did a little analysis, and like I say, if these storms can survive a little bit further, they do run into a slightly better environment as they get closer into Wichita County. So may have a chance to maybe intensify a little bit over that way, as far as rain and wind goes. Elgin going to get some strong wind gusts and hail. You might get some pretty good some little downpours there. And there might be some gusty winds, but I just don't think that you're going to get a lot in the way of hail, at least not right now. The worst of the storms are passing south of you. They're going to pass south of Vernon and kind of north of Seymour, but there's more coming in behind all of that. Most of it looks like it's going to be down here in North Texas. So that's all I got for right now, but we did want to do a little quick weather update for you, and we'll continue to do some more of these Facebook Live type updates off and on throughout the remainder of the morning hours. Myself, Cameron Lindsay, and Jaden Daniels, all here in the weather office. Very rarely do we all get to be together and take a look. I just called Jaden Knowles, Jaden Daniels. I got the draft on my mind. I'm sorry. I got the draft on my mind. I'm sorry. I was watching draft earlier. So that's right. Jaden Daniels just showed up, everybody. He's here. He's here. He left New York. He's here. All right, guys. We're gonna jump off here. Y'all have a good night, a good morning, And we'll keep you updated here as these storms cross the area.